fully as complicated. To neutralize, isn't that the thought, right? Isn't that why up to this point there are certain spiritual paths people resonate with for some reason? This spiritual path, these guys sit on your head for 5 days. That seems logical, right? Because you think you need something as intense of a spiritual solution to neutralize your complicated life, or you need an intense journey to match the intensity and complication of your life. And the truth is, the only remedy for complication, the only remedy for deeper integration, the only remedy for healing is something that is of utter simplicity. And on the spiritual path, it's not necessarily a matter of who's going to understand and decode these things. It's actually a matter of who's willing to receive a teaching of profound simplicity, to look at their life as an open landscape and say, I am going to apply that in my life as often as possible. So that's the question we ask ourselves today. Are you ready to allow your life to be an open space where the most simple solution to any aspect of a spiritual or life journey can be found? And obviously, that by the fact that you're here is an inherent yes to what I will offer you. It is, no matter what kind of a journey you're on, the secret to any form of spiritual success. And it doesn't matter whether you want to heal your physical body, doesn't matter whether you want to try to manifest different realities. It doesn't matter if you're interested in healing your past, having a better relationship with your inner child, whether you'd prefer to have a more silent mind, whether you'd love to live in a body that doesn't seem to react to other people's behavior, or maybe you'd like to live in an energy field where you're not always empathing and matching the collective unconsciousness of the world around you. And we can go on to all the different things that intrigue us on a spiritual path. The impulse to want to realize our true nature, the realization of enlightenment, even if part of the realization of enlightenment is thinking that's going to be your ticket out of here. Not so fast. Some might watch this and think, so if I do what you say, is it going to get me out of here? No. No, it won't. It'll keep you here. But you'll enjoy it. So that's okay. So today is the secret of spiritual success. The secret of spiritual success is one word. One word. And it's important to give a word that is the action step for you to pursue or implement in your life. Typically in the old paradigm of spirituality, the word that we would focus on would be the thing we want to resolve. So in the old paradigm, we focus on separation, right? Separation from source, separation from love, separation from whatever. We would focus on the problem being separation, and we would try to find things to resolve separation, or we would just judge ourselves for how often we think we're in separation. And the most confusing thing about something like separation, because I'm going to clarify today what separation actually is in a more practical manner, but it's very confusing because if you hold on to a word like separation, there is one common problem with the word separation that always takes you in the wrong spiritual direction. And it does this every single time. And I say this just having worked with so many beings where I had to learn these teachings through what other people were doing and how flustered they got. And what I found is that beings would focus on, I want to no longer be separate from the divine. And there was this interesting belief structure where they would have a list of positive emotions that they would want to feel more often: love, oneness, ecstasy, inspiration, bliss. And they were under the impression that when they were not feeling those emotions, that was an indication that they were separate. And they thought, I have to feel the way I want to feel all the time to confirm that I'm not separate from the divine. And how painful is that? So if we're going to re-qualify or reframe the spiritual journey from a new paradigm perspective, if we're going to talk about the secret of spiritual success, here's the first misconception we need to blow out of the water. Feeling a negative emotion is not an indication that you're separate from anything, because you're as one with the divine in hatred as you are in bliss. It just doesn't feel the same way. I'm not going to tell you hatred and bliss feel the same. I'm not going to tell you that if you're sitting in traffic and some good old-fashioned hatred pops up, that you're going to say, is that bliss? Oh no, it's hatred. I always confuse the two. I always never know if it's bliss or hatred. So similar. They're not similar at all. So they don't feel the same. But what I want you to really understand is a negative emotion, which is, all of us will have different ideas of a negative emotion, is just something unexpected or inconvenient or uncomfortable that we don't like feeling. And then on a spiritual journey, we often don't find the deeper truth about it. We just learn more spiritual ways to judge what we don't like feeling. So you don't have to like the way you feel. But let's not tack on some spiritual judgments. Let's not like the way you're feeling and go, and by the way, while I'm feeling this hatred, I'm far away from heaven. That's not going to help the hatred. So misconception number one that we blow out of the water is no emotional state proves separation. Emotions have nothing to do with separation. That's wild if you really take that in. Emotions have nothing to do with separation. In fact, what I will say is that every emotion, like a color in the rainbow, is an infinite expression of oneness, acting out its highest potential. That every feeling is a different frequency of perfection. And the deeper you go on a spiritual path, the more you start to realize such a wise and transcendent truth. The difference is there are beings on this planet who can feel every spectrum of emotion, and it doesn't overwhelm them. It doesn't remind them to stop and make up things about themselves, to decide how separate they are from God because they're not feeling comfortable and convenient, to act out in a certain way publicly and then berate and judge themselves for not being the spiritual superstar that no one's asking them to be. In order to really understand the truth, we have to get a different word in our focus. If the focus is separation, what are the odds that you're always going to feel separate from something? If you focus on the word separation as, I'm going to overcome this as my spiritual goal, there's something you imagine up ahead, and isn't whatever you imagine up ahead anywhere but where you are? Probably one of the shittiest setups ever. There's something that I want, and it's always somewhere other than where I'm at. And when we understand the spiritual journey in a new paradigm perspective, we don't fall for that. It's like a reverse of perception. Instead of there being this idea of there's something that I want, and yay, it's everywhere other than where I'm at, and I'm going to do something spiritual to earn it. Instead of that, we're going to be right here in this moment, and we're going to actually resolve separation by focusing on a different word that has more of an action orientation to it. And that word is alignment. Alignment in the new paradigm is everything. Alignment is the reason people start healing. Alignment is when you're able to attract different circumstances once you've realized the deeper importance of why things have come to be. Alignment is your ability to face any emotion, any insurmountable odds, and it literally washes through you like a breeze on a cool day. That you could have an eruption of thunderous emotion inside your body, and there wouldn't even be a flinch, barely even a blink. When you are an aligned being, alignment is what the folklore of old spiritual paths revered as enlightenment. What we thought of as like, that's an enlightened being who can just be there and nothing affects them. The word isn't really enlightened. It gets really mixed up. That's alignment. When you're an aligned being, that's when you become fearless, invincible, immortal, and literally indescribable. That you are so in the flow of divinity, you yourself don't even know anything about you other than you are. An aligned being can destroy the prison of any prisoner's ego with nothing but silence and stillness. An aligned being can have a staring contest with the universe and split planets in half. What you want to tap into is the full potential of your alignment. And if you focus on overcoming separation, you're never going to get there. You're just going to know a lot about separation and then wonder why you feel so separate. And the reason why people feel so separate is because they've been experts on a subject matter that doesn't actually exist. What you can say you're separate from, you're imagining you're separate from. Even when we say we're all one, but we're so one that even to state it becomes a fantasy. As if your legs would say to the body, since we're one, we don't want to work independently like we're separate limbs. We just want to hop around and stay one. And then you're an enlightened being hopping around, saying, no, my legs don't work independently because that would be separation. I hop now. Your fingers don't get in fights with one another. They're just the hand. The fingers don't say, let's get together and peacefully be the hand. Nothing in you knows what separation is. God bless you, go in nature. Nothing in nature knows what separation is. There's nothing in nature with separation anxiety. Separation has been an imagined problem to overcome spiritually. There is a purpose to the spiritual journey, but it's not to overcome separation. Usually when we feel separation, whether it's separation from children, separation from a relationship, or separation from the things that used to define you, the withering away of those things out of your reality bring up the uncomfortable feelings that you don't want to feel, and then you blame it on the separation. Instead of saying, oh, these things are bringing up in me what's here to heal, and I can face them. But the difference between feelings coming up and devastating you, putting you in a blind rage that causes you to act out in a cruel and immature way, or the ability to feel the emotion wash through you in the most mature way, the difference between these two extremes is alignment. So let's make this conversation on alignment very clear. How do you know when you're aligned? One word. You feel relaxed. Therefore, a spiritual path was never intended to overcome separation, because separation was an imagined adversity to overcome or an imagined problem to solve created in the minds of those who didn't know how aligned they would be if only they would relax. And when you focus on how separate you are or how much separation to overcome, how relaxed do you think you're going to be? So if there's anything that you've been taught or are focusing on the spiritual journey, here's something simple to consider. If it does not make you feel relaxed when you consider it or hear it, it might not assist you in cultivating greater spiritual alignment. Hey, in the beginning, there was this God and it created this magnificent world. Then you came here and oh my God, there's separation and then life sucks. Does that make you feel relaxed? Does that make you feel good? Does that taste delicious in your mouth? Is that minty fresh? No? No. Therefore, if it does not make you feel relaxed, it is your body telling you every step in that doctrine or any other dogmatic doctrine. The feeling in your body tells you, here's what this path is going to provide you. So, if you're following a path and your body does not become more relaxed in every step forward, that is not helpful. There are many spiritual paths in existence because we are very curious beings and we want to explore all possibilities, but not all possibilities are going to work. But the reason we exhaust ourselves on spiritual paths that don't work is so that once you find the simplicity, you're able to go, I've done all the crazy stuff. And the simple stuff feels pretty good. So now I'm not so curious. I'm just going to stick to the stuff now. If you learn this simple stuff as your first path, you go, that's really nice. Let's see what else is out there. Let's see what else is out there. Yeah, I could do the I love yous. Yeah, that's nice, whatever. Love you, whatever. Ooh, what's that path over there? I can sit quietly and hate myself. Ooh, what's that? That seems fun. Ooh, that one gives me 25 things to make sure I don't do wrong during the day. Ooh, I like that. You do the crazy spiritual paths to extinguish out the curiosity, so then you finally go, okay, what works? And that's when life goes, oh, now you're ready for alignment. You're done with the, what should we call that? The spiritual circus. You're done exploring the spiritual side of Crazy Town. And you're ready to say, a spiritual journey is where I am being taught the tools and given the awareness to recognize the importance that every day of my life is an open field where I can begin anchoring a higher vibration for myself and others by how aligned or relaxed I allow myself to be from one moment to the next. Now, doesn't that just feel healthy? Sometimes spiritual beings will have this really I want to know what's true, right? What is truth? You know what spiritual beings should actually be asking themselves? What is healthy? Because you could ask yourself what is truth and not be going about in a very healthy way. Someone comes up to you, what is truth? I'm not sure you're asking that in the healthiest way. About 2 feet from my face, grabbing me with surprising amounts of strength. I think we should start with health first. So what do you say, people? In the name of truth, expanding consciousness, and bringing heaven to earth, why don't we go about this in the healthiest and aligned way? That makes sense, because you're not always going to be around people that are going to want to talk the spiritual jargon with you. And then when you're not around people that care about spiritual buzzwords and want to talk about this, that's life putting you under the situation of, alignment. Not everyone likes spirituality or even resonates with it, but everyone could afford to be more relaxed, couldn't they? So it looks like relaxation is now the international language of spirituality. You could say to someone, I think I'm releasing a lot of debris for the collective unconsciousness. And they may not know what the hell you're talking about. But if you say, I don't believe that right now is the most relaxed I've ever been in my life, people will understand. So when you are aligned, you're able to speak in a way that everyone understands. No one gets polarized. And a sign that you are aligned with your highest wisdom and that you are in a position to bring that higher wisdom into an embodied state of action throughout your activities and behaviors, which is what every day has been designed for. Your life has been created to give you a series of very simple things to do every day, so the greater focus is doing it with alignment. So that's why everything is the way it is. Life is not about you getting things done necessarily. It's getting it done from a space of alignment. In the old paradigm, you have many things on your to-do list, you do all those things, and you're not more relaxed, and the next day you got more stuff to do. And you never get ahead. In the new paradigm, good, you have things to do on your list. Let's learn how to do those things with alignment. And then externally, you're getting all sorts of stuff done. But on the inside, you are allowing yourself to be as relaxed on the inside as you are productive on the outside. Then at the end of the day, you go, wow, not only did I get things done, I got a lot of things done on my to-do list. I used my day as an opportunity to anchor higher consciousness for myself and others because I was aware of how relaxed I was. And when I wasn't relaxed, it became like a red light in my spiritual journey, and I stopped everything. And I said, the most important thing for me to do is to return to alignment and become relaxed and then continue with my day. Does that make sense? This is the actual reason why spiritual paths exist. If there's a purpose for a teacher, other than to transmit and all sorts of stuff happens, the healing, the awakening, the transformation, all that kind of cool stuff happens. But the real purpose of a spiritual teacher is to show you how to live in a spiritually aligned way, which is to bring with you or to temper the enthusiasm and inspiration you have to seize the day and explore the world from a relaxed space of alignment so that the inner spiritual dimension of energy and consciousness can work through you to bring about something far more extraordinary than the exhaustion of your personal will can ever manufacture. When you are relaxed, it is a signification that you are working in harmony with the truth of reality. And when you're not relaxed, it means you are trying to work faster than the universe wants you to work. You're focused and attached to the outcome, trying to run to the finish line, and you are continuing to go towards a physical goal or endpoint while continuing to anchor the very energy that keeps you feeling so unfulfilled and dissatisfied. The most important thing to consider and focus on is alignment. How relaxed do you feel? If you have a spiritual practice and it's not done from a space of relaxation, it will only compound your insanity. Ask and contemplate the deepest questions in existence. When you're not relaxed, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to make it more ravenous. Ask a question from a place of absolute relaxation, the answer will come. Wouldn't it be funny to realize that you can ask any question, you can contemplate any question spiritually, and if you did it from a place of relaxation, you wouldn't necessarily find the answer that is other words to resolve the question you have. The answer would be realizing that the question was only manufactured in your consciousness as a reflection of how out of alignment or how unrelaxed you live your life. So what if an answer is just words that confirm you've returned to relaxation, and questions are reminding you how unaligned you are, but they have nothing to do with one another? People have questions and think an answer is going to resolve it. People say, who am I? And they're waiting for someone to say something. Instead of saying, the question I'm asking is proof that I'm not relaxed. Let me relax. Let me become the answer, not the one listening for an answer. And then whatever amazing insight I have is just my consciousness shifting out of question mode to answer mode to confirm that I've returned to relaxation as proof of how aligned I now am. Does that make sense? Things are never what you think they are. We actually, because we've lived our life in such an interesting level of consciousness, not relaxed, we think we're going to ask a question and something's going to tell me an answer. And we think that because we're waiting for an answer while still not aligned. And when you start to come into alignment, it's like your questions start disappearing. And you go, no, I can't let those disappear. Those are my questions. And then you go back out of alignment, go back into contraction, waiting for an insight. The only insight in existence is your willingness to relax. That's it. But you have an entire life to show your work. To relax into every position, to relax into every feeling, to relax into every circumstance, to relax into every feeling. When your mind is noisy, relax. When the world seems to be overlooking you, relax. Slow down. Breathe slower. Take more time. Move with more gentleness. Move with such gentleness throughout your day where it feels like you are making love to your life. Move with such gentleness that when you place your foot on the ground, you are doing it with the awareness that the aliveness in your body is also in the floor. And maybe we just don't try to disturb anything. Here's an interesting point about alignment. If you're not aware of your breath during any activity, you're going too fast. We're no longer living in a paradigm where focusing on goals, especially even like the goal of enlightenment or whatever, how lofty a spiritual goal can be. Because the doors of enlightenment don't open for people that are going about their spiritual path with ferocity and hyperactivity. The doorway of enlightenment and supreme liberation opens within a being who demonstrates relaxation. What if I were to tell you that in this world that I refer to as the Angel Academy, we only perceive a world of such devastation and hatred and negativity because we as angels in this soon-to-be graduating class go to school in a world where we see and perceive a certain vibration of unconsciousness just to practice bringing forth the opposite whenever we see it. So you see a world maybe that isn't relaxed, a world of tense individuals, a world of greed and attachment and unconscionable behavior. And if you want to open up the doorway of salvation in your heart, you will stop trying to stop anything you see, and you will say, anytime I see something I don't agree with, anytime I'm treated poorly, or anytime I act in a way that is below the standard of my higher conduct, it is a reminder to stop in that moment, recognize it as a moment where I can cultivate greater alignment by relaxing into my breath and slowing things down. If you have failed at all the other spiritual practices, maybe they were never designed to work. But you all will master relaxation. But I'm not sure it's been presented in a way where it brings your attention to how very important it is. I'm not even here to tell you relaxation is important. I'm here to tell you it's the only importance. Somebody hear this goes, sounds like you're saying this is the only way. I am. I am. This is the only way, people. Has your craziness and insanity not helped you understand that? This is the only way. There are a few ways to get there, but relaxation is it. If you have had any other spiritual path that has not helped you to feel relaxed on a deep level and shown you the importance of being relaxed on a day-to-day basis, it might have fed the curiosity, but there's no benefit. If you can look at a Buddha statue and go, oh, and revere it as a sacred spiritual symbol, how successful do you think you're going to be by running around? The statue is sit, breathe, slow down, relax. When you are relaxed, you hear how clear your intuition already is, but you can't hear messages from guidance until you're relaxed. When you relax, the channel opens up. It's like having the most amazing cable package, and you have 1,000 different channels. You have every channel, not just the basic channels, the cable channels, and even the crazy ones on top of that. You can see anything, any movie, underwater aerobics, anything, right? You can see anything. And you look at your TV and you go, but nothing's happening. Well, you got to turn the TV on. So you could have the greatest cable channels. If you don't turn your TV on, you're not going to see anything. Same thing in spirituality. You can have the greatest gifts, potential, dreams, and aspirations. If you don't connect and align through relaxation, nothing's going to happen. How do you develop your intuition? Slowing down your life and relaxing. How do you heal your physical body, which I've talked about in other videos? Physical body is not a negative manifestation. It's not proof that your vibration is low. Any kind of physical imbalance is just your soul is evolving at such a level of brightness, it's raising in such vibration that your body needs time to catch up. What do you think creates that integration? Relaxation. Why do you think people wind up in hospital beds? To force them into a state of rest. And they haven't practiced it, so they're not very relaxed. Hey, Mr. Johnson, how are you doing in that hospital bed? You know? And Mr. Johnson, God bless him, whoever that is having a crash course at a relaxation retreat. Whether you're at home recuperating or in a hospital bed, that's why those things, it's to put you into a state of stillness and rest so that you can make peace with relaxation. And a nurse comes up, Mr. Johnson, how are you doing? When can I get out of here? Oh, Mr. Johnson, you're not close to getting out of here. You have not learned. Relax. Relaxation is the sign of alignment. If you wish to have an open heart and experience the joy of loving everything unconditionally. Again, loving everything unconditionally is not going to be done with your personal effort. You're not going to try to love everyone unconditionally. Then at the end of your day, you're going to say, yay, I loved everyone unconditionally. I got the highest score. It's not a video game, right? Yay, I loved everyone unconditionally. Yay! No, what you're going to do is relax your physical body. And the more relaxed you are, the less fearful you seem to be, the less you are predicting and anticipate things that probably aren't going to happen, and the more open you are to meeting people as yourself instead of perceiving them as some type of subconscious predator or invasion. When you are relaxed, the sign that you are relaxed and becoming aligned spiritually is that you open up inherently to a perspective of faith. There is a bigger plan. The universe has a destiny in store for me, and everything is conspiring to serve my highest journey. All I have to do is relax where I'm at, bring relaxation with me, and do everything with gentleness, kindness, and care. And when we're not aligned, when relaxation is not at the forefront of our focus, we tend to be inundated with fear. So when you're not aligned, you're immersed in fear. When you are aligned, you're relaxed. And when relaxation has become anchored as more of what is your natural state throughout the day, faith tends to be your guide. When you're aligned, faith is your guide. When you're not relaxed, fear is your friend. And fear has all the time to be our friend, but we don't like what fear says. We don't like being friends with fear. It's not fun. And just like with separation, what do people do? I'm going to focus on overcoming separation. Just like I'm going to overcome fear. Sound familiar? I'm going to overcome something. No. That puts you back into crazy town. Where you have this weird look on your face and it goes, what's going on? I'm trying to overcome separation fear. All right. Or you can just relax. Relax. And as you relax, let's just sit in whatever position we're in. And for whatever degree of fear we have in our lives, let's just sit still for a moment and see if something we think that's trying to get us, and most of us don't specifically know what's trying to get us. We just think something imaginary is trying to get us. So in the name of alignment, let's just sit here and relax as much as we can, and let's just see if something shows up to get you. So that if there's something trying to get you, let's not give it a difficult time. I mean, it's working on Sunday. Let's not give it a hard time. Let's just sit here and give it let's just make this the easiest thing for it. If there's something trying to get me, come get me. I'm just going to relax. Maybe I'll close my eyes and I'll just give it the easiest time annihilating me. This is how we overcome fear. By relaxing into ourselves, becoming aligned in faith, and realizing nothing's chasing you. Actually, one thing is chasing you. You know what it is? It's your own inherent desire for alignment. Relaxation is chasing you. And if you stop moving for more than 3 seconds, what enters your field? Stillness, relaxation, silence. But for some egos, their ego is so run by, I'm in motion, therefore I have to continue being in motion, and if anything stops, interrupts my motion, there's going to be hell to pay. That's how most people live their lives. That's why you hear the honking of horns outside. Right? People are in their cars. I'm in motion. I got to stay in motion. Oh my God, what are you doing? Oh my God. Oh my God, go. Go. I know, you put your blinker on, I let you in front of me, go. Go. Don't look both ways, I'm letting you in. See? And that person in your reality who's taking a long time to move over is the universe bringing you back to relaxation. Right, you let someone in, go. And they look at you, hi, me? Me? Or them? Me? Or them? Me? Me? Wait, blinker. Gotta let everyone know I'm gonna go. Can I still go? Can I still go? And that is life bringing you back to relaxation. Another sign that we are not aligned in relaxation is judgment and blame. Again, on a spiritual path, we try to focus on, I'm overcoming separation, I'm overcoming fear, I'm overcoming blame, I'm overcoming judgment. Like, how would that not make anyone crazy? When you wake up and you say, regardless of what today has planned for me, I'm gonna destroy 4 enemies. And until I do, the weight of the world rests on my shoulders. That's insane. Simply put, does judgment feel relaxing in your body? You don't stop judging because you're trying to be a good boy or a good spiritual little girl. Judgment falls away because you go, if I don't feel relaxed and supported and filled with faith when I judge, well, then I kind of just lose interest in it. Do I feel relaxed when I consider something fearful? No. Well, then there's no truth to it. Here's a funny thing. What you're capable of fearing is confirmation of what will never occur in your life. Because the universe is created by vibrations of light, and light is of a frequency of love and unity, and only truth manifests. Even if you were to actually manifest what you envision, it would never be the experience you think it is. Because you're only imagining the most fearful possibility. And the most fearful possibility is not rooted in truth. So we lose interest in fear because it doesn't feel relaxing. Bless you. Judgment falls away because I don't feel relaxed when I'm judging. When's the last time you judged and felt invigorated? When's the last time you judged someone or something and went, well, I feel great. Having a little energy dip, but thought about getting a coffee. Didn't know I could just take 2 minutes and resort to some old-fashioned judgments. I feel reborn. Doesn't happen. So it just kind of falls away. Here's the interesting thing. Fear, separation, judgment, blame falls away not by you trying to energetically throw lightning bolts at it. Not by you trying to dig it up and do all these modalities and processes. All these things disappear as you become more interested in relaxation. The only reason why anyone is overwhelmed by judgment and blame and fear and separation is because they're not interested in relaxation. If they're interested in relaxation, they would just focus on relaxing. That's the funniest thing about peace. People only think they want peace when they don't think they have it. You take someone who goes, I want peace, and you give them a moment of peace, and here's relaxation, but they don't have a good relationship with that. Here's peace. Here's what you want. 2 minutes after peace arrives. That's the most hilarious part of the spiritual journey, is that what you want and what you chase in the spiritual path is not what you're ready to receive, and it's not what you really want. Because everything you want will be given to you, and then 2 minutes after it comes, seemed better when I was tortured. When my life was torturous and annoying, peace sounded really good. Now peace is here, just kind of boring. And that's the prime aspect of the spiritual journey you're overcoming, is when you make peace with relaxation, in the beginning, your ego will be bored to death. Be advised, that will happen. And that's when you know you're going the right way. And what will determine whether you continue to align or you go back to crazy town for a little bit is if you go, okay, this is kind of boring the crap out of me. Do you keep going that direction, or do you go back to the circus? Are you willing to bring relaxation into your life? Are you willing to be so relaxed and so peaceful that even as it starts to bore the crap out of your ego, you keep going? If you focus on relaxation to the point where even the boredom is unraveling your ego out of your field, that is how you get on the other side of reality, to where there is no judgment, there is no blame, there is no fear, there is no separation. So you can meet an enlightened being who goes, yeah, there is no separation. Because that being has taken their journey. And you figure, well, what have they done to get there? They have surrendered to becoming aligned in relaxation. And once they got totally bored, they kept going. And then there's a feeling of, if I keep in this boredom, I'm gonna die. Keep going. That's how you get to the other side of consciousness, where all of a sudden reality is clear. All of a sudden everything is divinity in form. All of a sudden everything is beautiful. Everything is innocent. Even when people are acting atrociously, you so instinctively see how this is just the growing pains of their journey, and there is no part of you that feels victimized by their behavior. In fact, how rooted you are in relaxation and alignment, you could have someone lash out at you, and I say this because I've had this experience a few times. Someone lashes out at you, and you are so relaxed that it actually destroys their conditioning and ego. They lash out at you, and they start unraveling and apologizing and waking up out of denial. I'm so sorry, that wasn't my nicest behavior. Well, that's okay. That's okay. Thank you for that apology. And the biggest fear is I can't relax in a world like this. That's why people go to nature and meditate. Hilariously enough, I can't relax in a world like this where people act like animals. So they go to meditate where other animals live. As if things aren't gangster over there. I mean, in the jungle, things happen. You ever look underwater? Things happen. Everywhere you go, things happen. So it's about relaxing where you are. But as you start to really welcome spiritual alignment and relaxation into your consciousness, I want to give you a tool that can help you. Because would you agree? Okay, I get it, Matt. So alignment is the key that brings all this to life. And alignment is going to occur as I bring relaxation into my life. It's probably going to bore the crap out of my ego, and I just got to be aware that's okay. We all get that. What if I can give you a tool that could start to instantly transform the world around you, and wherever you go, as you commit to being more relaxed in each of your activities, you can bring the tool I'm going to give you to help bring forth the most relaxed versions of each person and outcome. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah. Well, here we go. So that's the agreement. You agree, instead of living in spiritual crazy town, you're going to realize that every day the invitation is just to relax. Whether you slow your breath, whether you take more breaks, do the I love yous, which, by the way, the reason I teach the I love yous is because the I love you is a direct way to relax. So the I love yous is a way to, in a heart-centered way, cultivate spiritual alignment. But for so many of us, we're energetically sensitive, and we in our private lives are very conscious beings. And then you go out of your house and you go in a public setting. Have you ever done that? Like in private, you feel like, oh my God, I feel great. Then you go out in public and you're like, how did I become this character? How did I become this weird character? People knocking into me and all sorts of stuff happening. So if you commit to relaxation, here's something I will teach you that is extremely powerful. And it can be done when you enter into a public setting. You just have to say it once. It can actually be said in the presence of turmoil. And it will reveal something very deep about the spiritual journey that a commitment to relaxation will help you overcome. When you go into a public setting, let's say you're about to go into a family function and you're not sure how that's going to go down, or whatever it's going to be, all you say to yourself, it's a two-part phrase. I trust the consciousness of all, and I bring forth the highest consciousness I am. Just that simple. Here's what's interesting. When you walk into a public forum without an intention, whether the intention is stated or the intention is I'm going to bring relaxation for the well-being of those who don't embody it, you're basically saying, I'm going to interact with characters who are the divinity of consciousness, but I have not set an intention that brings their godliness to the surface. See, the problem is the reason why people get hurt is because you're trusting the ego of the character instead of connecting with the consciousness within the form. Does that make sense? So when you walk into a moment and say, I trust the consciousness of all, you are energetically saying, however much consciousness can come out of these people, bring it on. And I'm going to connect with that. The decoration can do all what the decorations do, but I trust. See, this is what gets you into faith. I'm not trying to trust the characters, the personalities, because that's all conditioned stuff. And that's up for all sorts of, who knows? If an ego is happy, they'll agree to anything. And as soon as an ego doesn't get their way, even if they agreed to something with you, they're going to break that agreement so fast. You ever been disappointed by someone who makes an agreement because they felt really good in that moment, and then it's time to fulfill that agreement, and they go, yeah, I don't feel good anymore, I'm not going to do that. This isn't about trusting egos. This is about communing with the consciousness in every form. I trust the consciousness of all, and I call forth the highest consciousness that I am. Doesn't that feel powerful? It's that power that gives you the permission to be relaxed in a world without feeling like you're about to be a part of some assassination plot. And that's how a lot of us kind of walk around. And it's like we're all angels in human form, but we literally walk around with subconscious forms of PTSD. Like we're waiting for things to jump out of the bushes and get us. Energetically sensitive beings walk into a grocery store, the doors magically open. Ah. The doors are opening for your convenience, and you think it's an attack. And I say that humorously because I used to do that. I used to be so energetically sensitive that any kind of movement just freaked me out. All right, someone come up, hey, like someone who knew me, hey, As if someone who's going to attack me is going to approach me pleasantly. Right? Oh, sorry, you approached me so pleasantly, I thought it was an attack. So confused by that. So if you start your day, if whenever you enter your workplace, whenever you get into the same room with children, I'm just giving examples, with your partner, anything. Maybe you're riding public transportation, and I'm saying this seriously. You can use every moment of your life as a chance to anchor greater spiritual alignment by being relaxed. And all you have to say to yourself is, I trust the consciousness of all and bring forth the highest consciousness that I am. In fact, if someone were to get angry with you and get in your face and scream at you, and you were to say that in your mind to them, you would be very surprised what would happen. Let's say you're in a situation and there's some chaos over there. Someone's acting, going through something, or there's people arguing over there. Just sit, and as you observe, maybe don't watch directly, but as you're aware of it, just guide your consciousness and say, I trust the consciousness of all. I call forth the highest consciousness that I am. Watch what happens. People that are in fear are witnessing. They're feeling like something's going to get me. But when you're witnessing, do you know what you're not doing? Invoking that intention. So if you invoke that intention, it allows you to no longer use the excuse that I can't relax in life. I got to wait till I'm at home. A lot of spiritual beings like to be relaxed where it's easy to be relaxed. But where you can't relax is where you're going to get the most benefit by learning how to relax. So how do you relax? Like if I just had this video and said, hey, relax. Just relax. Oh, it's easy for you to say. So I give you this tool. If you find yourself in environments where you can't relax, knowing the benefit of alignment is to relax, I trust the consciousness of all, and I call forth the highest consciousness that I am. Because the more that you affirm that you trust the consciousness of all, you don't have to trust the conditioning of all. You don't trust the beliefs of all. Certainly don't trust the ideas of all. I trust the consciousness of all. You're calling forth consciousness to you. And that changes everything. And then you start to realize relaxation is the entire spiritual path. That every day you can literally commit yourself to being more relaxed than you've ever been. And then when you're relaxed, okay, from relaxation, what words want to be spoken when I'm with people? What actions manifest? You'll attract different experiences. You'll resonate with different inspirations if you let relaxation totally take over your life. And I'm not talking about relaxation where someone quits their job, stays at home, and doesn't do anything. I mean bringing relaxation into the activity of your life. Keep your job, pay your mortgage, take care of your children. Just relax. And when you say, I don't know how to relax, I trust the consciousness of all and call forth the highest consciousness that I am. And you just keep bringing that with you. And after enough times, magic happens. There are many beings who want to know what a master knows. There are many beings who want to experience what a master experiences. But how many beings are willing to relax to the depth that a master has relaxed to? Isn't that the question? We don't relax because things don't matter. We relax because everything has a purpose. And you're able to see the purpose and bring forth your highest purpose only when rooted in your highest level alignment, which is every day you wake up, whatever activity I do, my focus is doing it with care, gentleness, and relaxation. While affirming, I trust the consciousness of all and call forth the highest consciousness that I am. If you allowed yourself to take a period of time and did that exclusively, and you could do the I love yous as well because it's all part of relaxation, and gave your attention to a heart-centered path and nothing else, you'd be very surprised how quickly every aspect of your life would transform. Even the purpose of why someone like me who transmits energy through the spoken word and through these videos and in these group settings where you're here listening and feeling the energy and going through all this, just by you sitting and listening to me talk is actually relaxing your nervous system. So just by not what I'm saying, even though what I'm saying is cohesive and making sense, the purpose of why you're hearing me speak, along with the energy that you're receiving, and the reason you're feeling the energy that I can put forth and transmit, is because you're allowing this moment to be a moment in time where you let relaxation in. I've been sent to be with you as an entertaining, captivating, and oftentimes humorous way for you to make peace with relaxation so it's not so boring. God looks down at the world. Why is the vibration not so high? Well, Lord, they haven't learned to relax yet. Why? I think it's boring. I think it's boring. Boring. Send Matt. He's hilarious. That's why I'm here. Yeah. Yeah. And as silly as that is, that's honest to God why I'm here. I'm literally here to help you make peace with silence, stillness, and relaxation, and not in such a catastrophically boring way. And yet we still get there. We laugh, we sit, oh my God, and then all of a sudden we go, wow, it feels good to sit in one place. Wow. It's awesome. And when you become conscious, again, consciousness is not about you trying to stop things. Consciousness is about you looking at your life and asking yourself a very important question. The question is this the healthiest thing I can do? It's a very important question. The most conscious beings are the healthiest beings. Now, there are beings walking around the planet that have had these amazing experiences, spiritual openings and stuff. But if that opening has not motivated you to be totally healthy, it's like a half-baked awakening. Doesn't really mean much. There are many beings that want to talk about their past experiences. And I love listening to all those experiences because I love all transcendent experiences of God. Because I love God. God, and that's the word that resonates with me. That I've always, when I was a kid, I was like that. I just wanted to see God's will in action. I wanted, you saw shows where like the light of God would appear. I want to be there. If I could have my way, I would have zipped through a time machine and just shown up to just watch all of those cool experiences happening everywhere. Spaceships land, God shows up, all that stuff. When I was a kid, that was my deepest passion, was God, and still is. Even though from this perspective, that God has been realized to be the one that I am, that you are. The play continues, but just on a very, very high level. But what's interesting is that in the old paradigm, spiritual beings talk about the experiences they've had. In the new paradigm, beings talk about what brings greater relaxation to them. In the old paradigm, people talk about the things they've overcome. In the new paradigm, we speak of the things that bring greater health, and we show how relaxed we are. We show our work. It doesn't matter what a spiritual being says insight-wise, it only matters that it's conveyed from a state of relaxation. And when conveyed from a state of relaxation, everything you say will be insightful. And if you say something you think is insightful that's not from a state of relaxation, you will be misunderstood or will have the opposite effect, and you'll think, how did my well-intended response get turned upside down? Because it did not come from the energy from which you were trying to present it from. Even when you sit with a teacher and you said, I had this experience and I realized this truth. And it was the truth of all of existence. And a teacher can say, no, that's false. And a student can get all flared up and go, how can you say that to me? I had this experience of truth and you're saying false. But what a teacher is actually saying is, you are not in the state of relaxation that experience revealed. So it doesn't matter what we know and understand. We don't have to keep anything straight. We have to demonstrate our relaxation, or we sit in the presence of people who will magnetically pull that relaxation to the surface. And that's the game we're playing. I show you how relaxed you already are. As your ego lets go and unravels. And as you relax, You slow down throughout your tasks. It's not about doing or non-doing or being versus doing. It's about, can all of my doing come from the presence of my being? Can I do everything slower? Can I take more care? When I'm washing dishes, can I not focus on getting done with the dishes? Can I just take care of the dishes? Can I care for the dishes? Maybe set my intention. Every dish I wash, the planet becomes more purified. And you're bringing more care to it. Or as you wash the dish, I trust the consciousness of all and bring forth the highest consciousness that I am. And the more aligned you get in your spiritual self, the more relaxation that comes forward, the more important it becomes to ask yourself the question, is this the healthiest thing I'm doing right now? Or is this, what's the healthiest thing I can do? And then all of the things that might have great importance or great benefit, you start to see through a different pair of eyes. Like, it's important to have community. It's important to have an online forum where you can connect with people. And it's wonderful because it's a manifestation of unity consciousness, and it's wonderful. But are you doing it? Are you using that resource in the healthiest way? Are you using it to go online and to have the kind of mental wars with people that you think you're immune from having in everyday life? That's what's weird. Like, it's not even like the old spiritual journey. It's like, learn to have peace in your everyday encounters. Now we have to say, learn to have peace in your everyday encounters and your online encounters too. Because sometimes people act a little differently online than they do in person. They can hide behind a keyboard and become a little superhero, don't they? They become a superhero. In everyday life, they're just this, afraid person. But behind a keyboard when no one sees them, all of a sudden it's different. It's important to go online, and you can connect with people, and there's different posts of insights and inspirations. It's wonderful. But how much time are you spending online? Are you online for like 20 minutes, then go back to your day and then go back to, relaxation? Or are you on for like 8 hours? When you have an ego structure, because again, everyone has an ego, meaning if you didn't have an ego, you wouldn't know how to put your pants on. You just walk out of the house naked. So trying to say, I have no ego, that's not really, in spiritually speaking, what this is about is that the attachment to ego and everything has been unraveled. There's still an ego, but it's an ego that knows how to care for itself. It's not an ego that's inflamed and crazy. But when you have an ego that is in the way of the greater spiritual alignment of relaxation, anything is up for grabs to be some kind of compulsion or addiction. You can be addicted to shopping, you can be addicted to relationships, you can be addicted to sexual encounters, you can be addicted to online whatever. Chocolate, I guess. Sure. You can be addicted to anything, but an addiction is it's not a separate thing. It is the addiction, and depending on how deep addiction goes, is the progressive denial of relaxation. It is the absence of healthy awareness. It is where we seek things on a compulsive level that we think are going to relax us out of our egoic states, where we could be using that time to surrender to relaxation. So when you relax yourself, when you become more aligned, you start to become more interested in, what is the healthiest thing I can do? Go online, go on Facebook, do all this stuff. Tweet to your heart's content if that's what you want to do. but in a mindful way, in a healthy way. When I was a kid, I never had an interest in being healthy. And I didn't know why. But as an adult, I look back and I go, I know why I didn't want to be healthy. Well, first of all, I wasn't in my body most of the time, so it's hard to want to care for your body when you're not in one. But do you know why I didn't want to be healthy? It's because everything of health seemed to take too much time. And taking time to be healthy would have relaxed me, and relaxing me would have unraveled my ego. So the denial of health is a refusal to relax. A refusal to relax is an avoidance of spiritual alignment. Interesting, isn't it? So instead of trying to be healthy and beat yourself up for not being able to do it, make relaxation your spiritual approach. Maybe stop and tell yourself one of the most amazing truths in the world. Nothing will satisfy me other than my willingness to relax more often. Boy, isn't that a crappy one for the ego to hear? Because the ego thinks, no, Matt, it's the things I'm seeking that are going to make me feel relaxed when I'm there. That's why I'm chasing them and nearly running people over in traffic trying to get to it. Nothing will fulfill you whatsoever other than your willingness to relax more often. Someone goes, well, how am I supposed to relax knowing that? Well, you can start with, I trust the consciousness of all, and I call forth the highest consciousness that I am. And when that interests you, that means that your heart is rooted in wanting the greatest gift you can give yourself, health. And when you go, I'm not sure about that, that's an ego that is so looped out in crazy town that it doesn't want anything to do with health, because health is going to bring relaxation, and relaxation is going to end that game. Egos don't want the end game. Egos want the end game to chase. They don't want to find the end game. And egos aren't meant to find the end game. They're just meant to chase it. They just want to chase it. It's like seeking. People that seek don't want the truth. They just want something to chase after. Because do you know what happens when you find the truth that you seek? The closer you get to truth, the closer you get to love, the closer you get to alignment. Let's just use all these words. Consciousness. What starts to wither out of your ego structure? The one thing an ego tries to protect and covet, choices. And the ego goes, ooh, I don't know, all my choices are disappearing. Why are they disappearing? Because the closer you get to truth, why would you need choices anymore? If you're one with the truth, and the truth says this is what there is to do, there's no negotiation. You do it. And it's not like it's separate from your wanting. It's what arises as your only wanting. So there's no choice. But an ego gets real skittish about that. Whoa, I don't know. No choice? And it turns away from the light of truth, turns away from consciousness, turns away from health, alignment, turns away from source, and goes back into crazy town where choices come back. And what an ego wants is infinite choices to be hypnotized by. To say, I have all the choices in the world, and I do not know how to make one of those choices. Do you want to know? Why? Because alignment does that. And when you're not aligned in relaxation, you don't have the capacity to make the right choice. You just have the capacity to look at your choices and have endless conversations with yourself. And you go, I can't take all these choices. And you run towards source, consciousness, light, love. And it says, yes, my child, come on into the gates of heaven. And it lets you in. And you go, well, but my choices are disappearing. Yes, you're in heaven. Why would you need a choice other than heaven? This is where you want to be. Like, why would you need an option of where to go other than heaven? Why do you need an option? You're in heaven. I'm not feeling options anymore. Well, you can go out there if you want. I think I'm going to do that. Do you see the game? When you become aligned spiritually, it's the same fear that souls have when the light comes for them. They go, I don't know, because they feel their choices stripping away. Why would you need choices? Choices are imaginary forms of security for those that have not made peace with alignment and have not surrendered to relaxation. If you relax deep enough, there are no actual choices. There is just, here's what you need to do. And if you were aligned in relaxation deep enough, you would realize this is actually what you want to do. But if you're not relaxed, you have an ego inside there that says, I don't want to do that. An imaginary character in your head that's rooted in a denial of health and relaxation. Are you willing to say no to that voice and yes to relaxation on a consistent basis, on a consistent enough basis to reveal the heaven that's already within you? It's not a very complicated journey. It's just a matter of who's willing to do that. In alignment, in every moment, there's one choice. And you'll always know what to do. Why do you need more than one choice to know what to do? Whenever you've had the most amount of choices, you've never known what to do or ever made the most honorable one. And how many times have you heard experiences of people talking about like overcoming insurmountable odds and they somehow made it through heroically, and their story is, at that moment, there was just this one option and it seemed like the only thing to do. People get through insurmountable odds because there's only one choice. People make heaven into hell by having too many choices. So why not join even deeper the love revolution and revolt against the illusion of thinking more choices is going to give you more opportunity, and go, look, this has been fun and all, but it's time for me to relax into every breath, affirm that I trust the consciousness of all and I bring forth the highest consciousness that I am. I start considering what's the healthiest thing I can do for my body, in my relationships, nutritionally, physically, emotionally, verbally, and I let my ability to be aligned in my highest truth rescue me from this life. And it's at that point when your life becomes a gift and not a curse. It's at that point where you wake up and realize it's not sitting around and thinking like, what's the next thing I can dream up that's going to make me happy? None of their stuff you dreamt up made you happy. So what makes you think the next batch is going to work? Nothing but relaxation will ever satisfy you. And the way we relax the nervous system and return to a state of spiritual alignment is by loving ourselves. Love the one who doesn't want to relax. Love the one who's bored by it. Love the one who only wants to relax if it can make your problems go away. And love the one who turns away when it doesn't. Love the one who would be willing to beg, borrow, and steal themselves into a higher vibration and do anything under the sun other than relax and slow down. Love that one. Love the one who spends all their day telling other people and repeating to themselves very wise spiritual words that have never worked for them. Love the one who only lives in a world of unconsciousness because on some level you have created the world to look the way you've looked so that you can be the one that relaxes in chaos, because as you meet chaos with relaxation, you become the transformer of it. If you were to set an intention and say, may I be the relaxation that seems missing from the world. May I trust the consciousness of all, and may I bring forth the highest consciousness that I am. Watch what happens to your day. Watch what happens. You want to not get in, you want to not be affected by people who argue with you. You want to not be hurt by people who are in insane egoic levels of consciousness. You want to be with your family and not have them say something and turn you back into a 16-year-old? Just be more relaxed than they are. They say, you know what your problem is? No, what? What's my problem? And then an ego who's unraveling by you doing that gets suspicious. What's that? What's what? What's that you're doing? What's that you're doing? It's like you're sniffing something. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just relaxing my breath and just relaxing my body. Why are you doing that? It's weird. Makes you look funny. Really? That's neat. Thanks for that feedback. I appreciate that. All you have to do is relax in the presence of life. People do what they're going to do. They say what they will be as they may. Your response is relaxation. In fact, if relaxation were to be your response before you chose or decided to bring forth words, your interactions would be a lot more noble. Before you respond, breathe slowly, so that relaxation is always your first response. It's not about deciding what choice you need to make in your life. It's if you were to relax deeper and slow yourself down, do some I love yous, and other things that I suggest to you, which are all just various ways to relax, all of a sudden those options would disappear, and there would just be one road. And it would be the most simple one in front of you, and you wouldn't have to decide what to do, where to go. And that's often why people's intuition don't speak to them. How come the universe doesn't speak to me? Should I go to this city? Should I go to this place? And the universe doesn't say anything, because the universe knows. It doesn't matter where you go. It's not going to make you be more relaxed. That other option is going to eventually be just as shitty as the one you're in right now. And all you got to do is relax and transform the reality where you're at. I mean, you don't have to believe me. And that one will see, right? Modern day in the city crappiness and tropical crappiness. Same. Oh, wow, same crappiness, but there's a water view, yay! Yay, I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt though. That's different, right? Yeah, that makes it better, right? No, it doesn't make it better at all. Nothing makes it better. The only thing that makes anything better is your ability to relax. Why have I attracted this? To inspire deeper relaxation. Why have I attracted this adversity? Because this is the circumstance you've never been relaxed in. Why have I attracted mean people to be more relaxed than they are relentless and ruthless and cruel? That's why. It's one thing to honor consciousness and spirituality as sacred. But sometimes when you honor it as sacred, you kind of give this impression like it's beyond you, like, oh, I can't understand that. It's beyond God, beyond me, right? I want you to walk away from today going, oh, the secret of spiritual success, it's not unattainable, it's just too damn simple. And that's what it comes down to. It's too damn simple, which is why we give our entire life to loving our hearts, relaxing our nervous systems, slowing our breaths, affirming that we trust the consciousness of all and bring forth the highest consciousness that we are. Turning towards the most healthy options and bringing forth the fragrance of your eternal beauty as a fully embodied expression of spirit in action.